Hey, it's R&R in the morning here on San Antonio Sports Star. We promised him to you. He is finally here. We'd like to welcome on the show Jay Will. Let me tell you, now, you're going to hear Jay Will someplace else, but he's with us right now. It's the miracle of modern radio. He's on Keyshawn, Jay Will, and Max, but he's also with us. Hey, welcome on to the show. He's Rudy. I'm Rob. This is Jay Will. We're glad to have you, man. Thanks for stopping by.
It's good to be here, man. It's good to be here. I'm trying to compose myself because it's now 2 years in a row that Tom Brady has hijacked the start of Black History Month for me. So I'm feeling a little bit salty here, okay? Just a little bit salty, Tom.
Jay,
you're very strategic, Tom. What are you doing?
We talked about this earlier. I was sensitive because I was like, hey, man, the Texans better do right by D'Amico Ryans. It's Black History Month. They better do right by the brother. So, see, Jay Will relates. Like, stop. Hey. We only get 28 days.
That's all we get. We get the shortest month of the year, Rob. You know, that's all we got. That's all we got, Rob.
Well, yeah, okay, so there's so many different ways I want to go with this, so let's just keep it right down the middle. Do we even give a damn? I mean, didn't we already do this? I mean, we care, but I felt like I've already been to this funeral. Didn't we already put some dirt on him? I mean, I went to the funeral. We said goodbye. We rose from the dead, and then I saw him die again. Is he going to stay dead? I mean, what do I do now? How do I look at this? Do I wait 40 days?
That's every Tuesday when I hear Aaron Rodgers on the Pat McAfee show. I'm like, hey, are we doing this again? Like, he's saying a bunch of nothing, and I get, like, that, you know, he's trying to figure it out, but in my brain, I'm like, all right, I got it, Aaron. I know you don't want to be the bad guy. You want Green Bay to let go of you before you let go of them. This is how divorces work. Look, I'm the victim. I understand. But like with Tom, I'm like, I got it, Tom. Like, I'm gonna tell you guys something honestly though. Like, I just wonder about Tom if there's a part of him, frankly, that really is wondering, like, did I do this a year too late? Like, if I had done this last year, like, would I had a chance to amend a lot of things in my life that went down? Because I did this for what? To finish, you know, under 500, even though we won our division? Like, what was I still holding on to? And it's a predicament I think a lot of athletes had, like, and have when it comes to retirement. Do I hold on too long, or do I let go at least too early? And it's a challenging needle to thread.
You know what, Jay? It's interesting you bring that up. And again, I listen to you guys all the time, and I know you guys don't really go into people's personal lives, but the wives of athletes and the sacrifices that they have to make because you guys, there's a certain amount of work that has to be put in for you guys to stay at that level. I mean, one of the clips that goes viral with you all the time is you talking about Kobe and how he was there at the gym before you and made sure he stayed longer. Like, talk about the dynamic between husband and wives of pro athletes and what the wives have to expect as far as you guys being gone all the time.
Man, I do this morning show, you know, and every day I leave my house, and I'm not saying that my life is comparable to the life of Kobe Bryant or Tom Brady. Right. Help people put it in perspective. You know, it's like you leave every day at 3:30 in the morning, and you don't come back sometimes until 1 or 2, and on a smaller scale, I'm like, that's my wife every single day. You know, like, the kids aren't used to me being around. The kids act differently when I'm around as opposed to when I'm not. And she's trying to, get the troops together. I got 3 kids, try to get them ready for school, get their meals ready, get them in the car. And that becomes a lot. And there are a lot of things as relates to basketball games or events that sometimes, with my basketball schedule in conjunction with doing radio in the morning on the morning show, like, I'm not allowed to be at. And that's really challenging. So, and one of the things I've also seen on my level is whenever we're out, it's always about me. Like, people are always coming up to me talking about me. Even when my wife is right next to me, I'm like, hey, say hello to me. Like, this is my wife, Nikki. Say hello, please. Please help me see it. But people can't help me. They're like, great, nice to meet you, Nikki. Jay, what do you think about? So, like, if that's happening to me on this level, what do you think's happening to Tom and his kids? And I think that's the hardest part, is that learning that it's not about you anymore. Like, people are like, well, how about Tom Brady's legacy? And I'm like, how about his greatest legacy are his children? Like, what is their cup filled with Tom Brady? The dad, not Tom Brady, the GOAT. That's the challenge, man.
That's Jay Will. You catch him right here live on 1250 The Other Side as he competes with us. We listen to this podcast and make sure you catch him every day. Hey,
I'll take the plug on the podcast, okay? I'll take the plug.
Either way, hey, man, we're equal opportunity on this part of the world. You talk about Tom Brady hijacking your show, and there we go. Same with us.
Yep.
We didn't mean to hijack your ongoing Dallas Cowboy talk. As a giant guy and an ESPN national guy, does it kill you to have to talk about the Cowboys as much as we do by nature in Cowboy country?
I mean, so a couple of things. One, it doesn't really kill me. You guys are the gift that just keeps on giving, frankly.
Well, there is that.
That's number one. There is that. And, it's almost with football. See, I became a big football fan with my cousin, David Tyree, who made that incredible catch, right? And that kind of turned me into a Giants fan. But I'm also like part of this new generation that I'm about individual athletes. So I find myself very much rooting for Dak Prescott to win, right? And I think one of the challenges, even letting go of Kellen Moore, and I think Kellen Moore got an upgrade, obviously, to a Justin Herbert, not dealing with a lot of the stress that comes along with Jerry Jones and Mike McCarthy and a lot of the stir around the Dallas Cowboy organization. But it's challenging because you see these top-tier quarterbacks. I'm watching Joe Burrow, without 3 of his O-linemen, find a way to get his team to the AFC Championship. I'm watching Patrick Mahomes, out there on a bum ankle, find a way to put his team in position for a first down, to get a late hit by Cincinnati, to get in field goal range, right? And you're seeing this narrative around these superstar quarterbacks that get their team over the hump, when they're going against it. And then you go into, well, Dak, we always associate the pay with the elite level of the athlete. And I'm like, Dak got paid like an elite quarterback in the Joe Burrow, Patrick Mahomes range at that juncture, right? Because that's what the market dictated. But he can't get his team over that hump, and I hate that for him. So I think there are a lot of challenges with Dallas. And it's been a hell of a year, but it's almost like self-inflicted wounds, too, that they have going on. So it's hard to kind of compartmentalize it all.
Jay, I was just telling Rob.
Is that fair?
No,
that's 100% fair.
Let me tell you, let's respond to that from inside the bubble.
Go ahead.
I mean, you got to keep in mind that we're a very close affiliate. We're training camp. Coach McCarthy joins us every week. We're really involved with the Cowboys, and I think your sentiment is very much what's going on inside the building. Right. I think that there's a lot of people that feel like we feel bad for you, man, but it's time, and I think that it's time, Absolutely. Regardless of excuses. Everybody got reasons and excuses. We just got to figure out what's right. And right now, you got too many excuses. And so at some point, things got to be fixed.
Can I ask you guys a question?
Yes.
Does it not feel, because, I mean, last year it was, well, we're not sure Mike McCarthy, from a national perspective. You guys are in the trenches, right? I'm not.
Right.
But from a national perspective, we're not sure Mike McCarthy is the guy, right? In the game and management, clock management, all these different things, right? And now it feels like the story is, well, we're not sure Dak is the guy. So now I'm sitting there thinking, well, Jerry Jones has said, no, Mike McCarthy, you're going to be the shot caller now. You call the plays. No more Kellen Moore. You got, the DC who's there, who's Dan Quinn, who's like, well, I'm turning down other head coaching jobs. Like, is he the next? But it feels like Dak and Mike are tied at the hip now. Is that correct?
I think you hit it, Jay.
I think so. But hey, he loves Dak, though. He believes in Dak. That's the thing. Jerry, and it's not like just fluff. It's not just the money. They really think, Jay, that he can win a Super Bowl. Now, I don't know if they're right, but that's what they believe.
And I think the phrase of the question we need to ask, Jay, is really, what do you want the guy, and he is the guy, to do? How do you want him to do it? And I think they're redefining, what do you expect from Dak Prescott? There's things that we need to realize that he's not going to do consistently well. We're seeing success from teams that are taking those quarterbacks that might be limited in one small area, but very talented in others, and utilizing that. Let's utilize the skills that we think we might have been left behind by a rather pass-happy offensive coordinator. So I think you've nailed it on the outside looking in, that there is some sympathy there, but you've run out of excuses. You've run out of OCs. Everybody from the old Garrett regime is now gone, from coaches that have been assistants organizations that have been around for decades, quite frankly. So here we go. And I think what we need to watch, and I think we should pay attention to, is what does Dak Prescott do as far as contract negotiations for the salary cap? Are they going to renegotiate and lengthen this deal, or are they going to keep it the same as they try to find some money?
Wow. You imagine that if you're Dak. You don't say anything. You keep your head down. Granted, like, you don't get your team over the hump when you need to, but now you're going to be asked to kind of give up money on the back end. It's just it's interesting how we pin so much on the quarterback and not as much on ownership. And it gets to a certain point, and I like him, but you have to start looking at Jerry Jones and be like, all right, well, Jerry, like, where is the accountability from that perspective, from ownership perspective? I get how you can take money out of the pocket and make things easy for other people and try to get more personnel, but like, where's that accountability?
Right. And before we get NBA, on the NBA side, Jay, I've seen you on First Take and stuff, and you take heat for some of your LeBron stuff. He's about to pass Kareem, and I was just telling Rob earlier, man, one of my biggest regrets, because I was a Kobe groupie, I didn't enjoy LeBron's tenure and just enjoy the greatness. And now I'm looking back on it with huge regret. And, you know, at some point I told Rob I'm all out of fight. I can't maintain my credibility and not just say that this man probably is the greatest we've ever seen.
So, you know, it's funny when we say greatest, you know, we automatically go back to like Michael Jordan and championships. And I get that. Like, Michael Jordan is probably the greatest winner of all time, him and Tom Brady in that conversation. The way Mike did it was credible. And I'm not going to get into like whether one was over the other, but you know, it's for him to be in fourth place all time on the assist leading chart. You're like, wow, he's one of the most gifted passers the game of basketball has ever seen. And I'm telling you guys, as a fellow player, NBA player, he's an even better scorer than he is passer. Like, this dude at 39 years old, you know, to go back to the Boston game, when he was trending online and people were saying, well, you know, he's overly dramatic. I'm like, this dude at 38, 39 years old is single-handedly keeping his team in playoff contention, scoring 45, 46, 47, 48 a night, averaging 34 points per game since he's turned 38. Like, what we're complaining because what are we doing? Like, why are we taking away from this dude's greatness because we're saying he's dramatic? Cat wants to win. Don't we want to reward that? Well, I thought the narrative was NBA guys don't care about the regular season. Now we see LeBron James care, and now we want to bitch and complain about the fact that he's being dramatic. Like, I'm with you, Rudy. Just like take a second and appreciate what you're watching because, and I like Luka Doncic. Luka Doncic ain't no LeBron James. He's not. Sorry.
Truth. Do you think it's like how some people look at Cowboy fan and some people look at LeBron fan? It's not so much as Cowboys or LeBron, but it's the fans that drive them crazy.
I just think we live in a world where you can hear everybody's voice. Yeah, you can hear everybody's voice. Like Michael and these guys, Kareem, they didn't hear everybody's voice. You heard some beat reporters, or you know, but like now it's like you hear everybody's voice and everybody gets a chance to chime in. Like, and for me, honestly, I don't give a damn what everybody else thinks all the time. Like, I'm not on social media. Doesn't validate or change my opinions on certain people, right? And their takes on it. Like I know the game. I've seen the game. I listen to people that have played the game at a high level. And I think when you learn to respect the nuances of the game, you start to see like what he's doing right now is unprecedented.
Right.
Can't say any more, man. It's going to be overwhelming for the next couple of days, the discussions. And I think there's a lot of people reevaluating where they sit. We're sitting with Jay Will right now. You do mornings like us. We're on the same shift, my brother. And to hear you say you come home at 1 o'clock to an upset wife and some unhappy kids, there's several people listening and talking to you right now that can deal with that completely. Right, Rudy? But given the schedule, what's Key like early in the morning?
He's never wrong. He's never wrong. Jay, how do you not jump across the table, dog? Jay,
he's never wrong, but he's wrong all the damn time.
That's
the best part about it.
Jay, I'll be yelling at the radio. I'm like, Jay, get him.
Well, that's my thing. I'm like, after a while, I'm like, man, I'm tired of hearing you. It's 4 hours. You got it. Just go ahead. You got it. Yep. So like, you know what the funny part about Key is? Like, I think over the past 6 months, like the show is really us. Like today, I went off on Jason Whitlock, and people were like, "Well, you shouldn't call him out by his name." I'm like, "No, damn, I'm calling this dude out by his name. I don't give a damn." Like, we are being unapologetically like who we are, and I laugh with Key because Key will say something, and then like we'll go off air. He'll be like, "Damn, I don't know if I believe what I just said." And then I'll come on. I'm like, "He just said he don't believe what he just said." Well, what are we doing? What are we doing? So like,
I know what you mean.
We make fun of each other, and that's what it should be. That's what you guys got. That's why you guys are number one and we're number two. You know, that's how it happens.
That's why that is a consummate professional with 4 initials right there. ESPN. Jay Will, man, it is a pleasure. You going to be at the game of significance? You going to be at the Super Bowl?
I struggle with that because that's a weekend away from my kids, which means yes, I will be there. Don't tell anyone.
Are you going to be broadcasting from there? Are you going to stay up in New York?
No, you know what? I actually just want to go as a fan.
Man,
and I think that sometimes. Yeah, I know.
What's that like?
I know.
What's that like?
Yeah, but I mean that's a quick turnaround Monday morning now when you're going as a fan and then turn around.
Right.
Yeah, that's gonna be a long show. Just get hungover. Jay might be in full effect. Just be ready.
There we go. Well, Jay, let's let you get to it. We appreciate you stopping by this morning. Always a pleasure. Jay Will, man, it's been a lot of fun. Thanks for stopping by.
Thanks, man.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate you.